I'm Cath. Welcome back to my channel made by Cath Craft. Thank you very much for joining me for this video. So this video is going to be a bit of a chatty sewing catch-up type video, which I always really enjoy filming. I've got quite a few things to share. I've got a couple of new makes that I've been working on this week that I'm looking forward to sharing with you. I've also got a couple of new fabrics and a new pattern. And then towards the end of this video, I thought I might talk a little bit about how I've been getting on with my new crafty skill that I've been learning, which is learning to crochet, which I'm really enjoying. So this video is going to be mostly sewing with a little bit of crochet sprinkled in, which sounds funny actually because I'm used to saying mostly sewing with a little bit of knitting sprinkled in, but it's nice to have a little change. So yeah, quite a lot to chat about, and I'll start off as usual with what I'm wearing today. So today here in the south of England it's very cold. We've had a bit of a cold snap this week. Last week it almost felt like spring was on its way. The days were starting to get a bit longer. The weather was warming up, but winter is back with vengeance this week. I woke up this morning, looked outside, and it was very, very frosty outside, which looked really beautiful actually, but was quite chilly on the school run. And with the cold weather this week, I've been mainly alternating between cosy jumpers and jeans and cosy sweater dresses. And today it's the turn of a cosy sweater dress. It's a nice cosy one I'm wearing today. And I made this one using a pattern I really love for this time of year. It is this pattern here, the South Bank sweater and sweater dress pattern by Nina Lee. So it's a really nice pattern, this one, with three different versions, this sort of cropped sweater, a more classic sweater, and the sweater dress that I'm wearing today. I particularly like the cropped sweater and the sweater dress. But it's got this funnel neck, which I always think is quite a nice feature on a garment because it means it's quite simple to sew in rather than getting a neckband to lie flat. So I find that any garment that has a funnel neck always ends up being quite a speedy sew. Then it's got a slightly dropped shoulder, and then I think the sleeves are designed to be a little bit long on the long side. They're quite fitted with little cuffs at the bottom. And yeah, the dress I'm wearing today has a bit of shaping to it, but it's not super snug, so it's great for layering over a t-shirt. And I've got it on with t-shirt underneath and a cosy pair of tights, and it's got this hemband at the bottom. So yeah, it sews up really nicely, the South Bank sweater. It's got a good size range too. I've got the UK size 6 to 20 size range version, but there's also a UK 16 to 28 version too. And yeah, it just sews up really nicely, and it's really comfy and cosy to wear. I find it a really nice alternative option to a sweatshirt and jeans because it is so comfy. And the version I'm wearing today I made in this fleece back sweatshirting fabric. I think I got it from Guthrie Garney quite a while ago, and it's a type of sweatshirting fabric that seems to be often available at different online shops. It's quite nice because it's not too heavyweight, so it's not too super thick and warm for a sweater dress where you might get a bit overheated. It's nice sort of weight fleecy sweatshirt fabric. If it's in stock still at Guthrie Garney, I'll link it down below. So I've got this navy colour, and it's got this little fleck to the fabric, which I think is quite a cute detail. The flecks are in all different colours, like reds and yellows and things, and just adds a bit of extra interest, I think, to this fabric. And yeah, I just made the classic sweater dress version. I didn't add in pockets because you can add pockets to the South Bank sweater dress if you want to, but I kept this version pocket free. And I think I made it in a size 8. My measurements are pretty much size 8 on the waist and hips. I would be a size 6 on the bust, but actually I like having a bit more room around the bust just because then it's easier to fit a t-shirt underneath. And I do find that Nina Lee patterns on the whole come up on the fitted side, so actually having that bit of extra room around the bust is quite welcome. But it's a really nice cosy one to wear and quite a speedy sew too, so I definitely recommend this pattern. And I'll put a picture so you can see what it looks like on. I'm just wearing it with a pair of kind of maroon coloured tights just to jazz it up a little bit, I guess. But yeah, it's nice and comfy and I'm feeling cosy in it today. So that's what I'm wearing today. Then the next thing I wanted to talk about was a new make. And funnily enough, this new make is also a sweater dress, although I made this one using a different pattern. But like I mentioned, I have been reaching for sweater dresses quite a lot this winter. We have had quite a cold winter here, so I've been using my sweater dresses quite a lot, so I thought it'd be nice to have a new one to add to my collection. And just after Christmas, I was browsing some of the sales and I saw this fabric that I made this next sweater dress in on sale at Fabric Godmother. And when I saw the fabric, I just knew it would make a really nice sweater dress, so I bought it then. So it's nice to be finally sewing up now and having it ready to wear while the weather is still cold. So this new sweater dress I made, like I mentioned, using a different sweater dress pattern, another one I really love. and it's a pattern from this ebook here, which is the Sew Over It ebook, the City Break Capsule Wardrobe ebook. So over it I've done a few ebooks. This is the only one I have, and I particularly like this particular pattern from this ebook, which is a Molly dress and top pattern. I'll show you the line drawings here. So it's a really nice relaxed fit top and dress pattern. I guess it's not quite as cozy as a South Bank sweater because it's got more of a sort of flat neckline here, and then it's got a very dropped shoulder and quite a loose relaxed fit to it, and if you make the top it's got a slightly dipped curved hem. And it's another one that sews up really nicely. This one does have the issue of getting the neckband to lie flat, so it's a bit more of a fiddly point there, but once you've got the neckband in, it sews up really nicely, and I really like it as a top and a dress, but when I saw this fabric I knew it had to be a dress. This one doesn't have the biggest size range. It's one of Sew Over It's old ebooks, and it's only available in the UK 8 up to the UK 20, and I make the UK 8, which is designed for bust 33, waist 26, hips 36, so my waist and hips measurements were 1 inch larger on the bust, but again I quite like that extra room with a sweater dress because I do often like to pop a t-shirt underneath that. I will show you my new Molly dress. I really love this fabric, so I'm really happy to have sewn it up. Here it is. So yeah, this is my Molly dress that I made, and it's really pretty. It's a French terry fabric, this one, from Fabric Godmother, so you can see it's got this sort of loop back texture on the back, and it's got this black base to it, and I do like a black base. I think it works really well, especially in winter, for kind of, you can team it then with kind of like a black cardigan and black boots and tights, and it works really well. It's got this pretty floral design on, in sort of peachy colours, sort of almost watercolour, soft colours like, yeah, peachy yellows and sort of sage green. I thought there was quite a pretty floral pattern on it, and I've got one floral Molly dress already. It's quite different to this one. It's in kind of like a light blue colour with sort of brighter pinks in it, and I love that one, so I thought it'd be nice to have another one that's also floral but has quite a different vibe to it. So this is my Molly dress. I pretty much made it up per the pattern. I think I lengthened the sleeves just a little bit, which is something I often do on most things I make, because I've got quite long arms, and I particularly like for a winter garment having them nice and cosy and long around the sleeve. That's one of the things I love about handmade clothing, because I remember before I started making my own clothes I would often be wearing tops that were slightly too short and tucking the sleeves down, so it's lovely not to have to do that anymore. But yeah, this is my Molly dress. I did think about adding black ribbing and maybe adding some little cuffs to the sleeves and to the bottom band, and I did actually buy some black ribbing along with this fabric with a view to doing that, but when I started sewing it up I actually thought it would be nice just in the florals. I wanted to keep it really simple. I didn't think I wanted to add a hemband in the end because I quite like the look of it without, so I've got that black ribbing now sitting in my stash. I'm sure it'll be useful on another project. But one new thing I did try for this Molly dress is I tried some Maraflex thread by Gutermann, which I've had in my sort of thread box for absolutely ages. I bought it ages ago for another project, and then there was a bit of a mess up. I think I got sent the wrong thread, the non-Maraflex thread, so I ended up using that instead, and the Maraflex thread took too long to arrive, so I never used it on the original project. But you probably have heard of Maraflex thread before. It's basically a thread that you can use to sew stretch fabrics without a zigzag, because the thread has a little bit of stretch in it itself, so you can kind of just sew a jersey dress like this dress as if you were sewing with a woven fabric, and all the seams are straight. So you can see quite easily around here I've top stitched down the neckband. I've just done a straight stitch all around the neck because I haven't needed to add a zigzag, because the thread itself has some stretch in it. So it was really cool to try it out actually, because I've had it for so long. It was nice to finally use it, and I thought I had the black thread, so I was just waiting for a garment that was black to be able to use it on, so this one came along. It worked really well actually. It felt a bit weird sewing with a jersey fabric with a straight stitch. It felt a little bit wrong, but obviously that's what it's designed to do, and it did make the whole process quite quick, and it does give a really nice finish I think around the neckband, particularly where you can see it a little bit on the flowers. You haven't got a zigzag, and it does give quite a nice neat finish. So it was quite fun sewing with Maraflex. It was good for, again, hemming the bottom. I guess sometimes with jersey fabrics, if you hem with a zigzag, I found the fabric can maybe just stretch out a little bit, and often if you press it I find it just flattens down nicely. But with the Maraflex thread, because you're sewing a straight stitch, it didn't feel like it stretched out at all, so it does give quite a nice finish. So I really enjoyed sewing with the Maraflex thread on this one. But I have to say, although I loved it and I'll definitely carry on using what I've got, and I might buy some more in the future, I don't think I'm wholly converted to it. I've still got quite a lot of threads in my thread box I'm happy to use. I don't really mind zigzagging. It is probably slightly slower, but I've done it for so long now, I don't really mind it. It doesn't really bother me. So the Mariflex thread is slightly more expensive, so I probably wouldn't always buy it. I might maybe buy some in like black or white or navy, which are kind of colours I probably sew with a bit more. But I probably wouldn't go about getting some for every new sort of stretch fabric I sewed with. I think I am happy using a zigzag generally, but it was really fun to try. So yeah, if you don't like a zigzag, or I mean, I guess you could use an overlock on a lot of these seams anyway. I generally don't. I generally use my sewing machine. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I definitely recommend it if you like the idea of just sewing straight stitches, particularly around places like neckbands. It does give a lovely finish. But anyway, that's a bit of a side dish of the Mariflex thread. This is my Molly dress. I'll put a picture up so you can see what it looks like on. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I've enjoyed sort of wearing it in different ways. I've kind of worn it with nice thick tights and boots and a thick cardi out. I've also really enjoyed wearing this one just around the house with a pair of leggings. It worked really well like that too. So I think it's going to be a really nice flexible dress I'll get a lot of wear out of, and definitely while this cold weather continues I'll be reaching for it a lot. So the next make I wanted to share is another one that I've been working on this week. It was quite a speedy sew, this one actually, and this one is for somebody else. I made this one for my mum. I've made a few things for my mum over the years since I started sewing, but I haven't made anything that recently. And then we were talking the other day and she mentioned she was wearing a top I'd made her, and that a couple of people had complimented it, and she said she was really happy with it. So I thought it might be nice to make her another one, just as a bit of a surprise really. And I saw some fabric go by on First for Fabric's website, or they'd advertised it on their Instagram, and I saw it and thought that just looks like fabric that I think would suit my mum. So I got some and I've sewed it up this week, and I haven't given it to her yet because I wanted to show you guys first before I do gift it to her. And the fabric is a really lovely cotton jersey fabric. Here it is. It's got this navy base with this cute kind of leopard print design on it, but I think it's quite a subtle leopard print in this white colour. And it's really nice quality jersey fabric actually, because the base of the fabric is the navy colour, so you don't get any sort of white when you pull it. It's all navy through and through, which I thought my mum would appreciate, and I guess it means when you wash it, it won't kind of fade too much, hopefully. And yeah, it's got this sort of leopard print printed on it. They had this in a few different colourways, and I'll link it down below. I think there is some still available. And it's a really lovely soft jersey, and it has a good recovery too, which is what I wanted for the top that I've made my mum. And I made her a top from this book here, the Stretch Book by Tilly and the Buttons, and I've made her a top that I love wearing myself, and it's one she really likes too, which is the Freya top. So this one here, I made her a Freya top with this mock turtleneck neckline and the long sleeves. Yeah, just this version here. And so for my mum's version, I make the size 4. She's a little bit taller than me and just a little bit bigger than me. I make the size 2 for myself. And what's really nice about being able to make something for my mum is because she's quite tall, she has quite long arms and a long body, so I can lengthen it nicely. And she, like me, has always struggled to find shop-bought tops that are long enough on the arm and long enough on the body too. So yeah, it's really nice to be able to make her a nice cosy top that I know is going to be nice and long on the arm and body. And because I've made this a few times before actually, for her I kind of know exactly what to do, so I didn't have to sort of measure her or get to check it. I could just pretty much cut it out from the pattern piece I have traced out for her, and I know how much hem to add and everything. So this is the Freya top I've made for her. It came together really nice. It was quite a speedy sew. For this one I didn't use Mariflex, I just used normal thread, so it's got a little zigzag around the neckline, which you can see, but I think it's quite subtle with the navy. And yeah, I'm just really pleased with it, and I hope she'll like it. It's got nice long arms, a really long body, so hopefully that'll be nice and cosy. And I'm almost glad the weather's still cold, so hopefully she'll get a bit of wear out of it this winter before the weather warms up. So yeah, it was quite a speedy sew, this one. I feel like I've made the Freya top so many times I don't really have to look at the instructions. I always use ribbon for the stabilising of the on the shoulder seams. So I've just got some black ribbon there, but it's kind of hidden under the seam, which I've sort of pressed open. So hopefully that should mean it shouldn't stretch out and should last her hopefully for quite a long while to come. So yeah, that was quite a quick speedy make, and this really lovely fabric from First for Fabrics. I can't remember what other colours they had of this. It was a couple of lighter colourways, but it's a really nice quality jersey fabric. So yeah, I'll link it in case you fancy having a look. But yeah, that was quite a speedy make for my mum. So the next thing I wanted to share in this video is another new fabric. This one arrived with me this week, and I've got it pre-washed and dried so far, but I haven't cut into it yet, but it's ready to go, which is nice. And this fabric was gifted to me by Minerva in exchange for a blog post that I'll be writing for their website. So once I've sewn up the garment I'd like to make, I'll take some pictures and I'll do a full review of how I found the fabric to sew with, and I'll talk all about the details of the pattern I used and that sort of thing. And once it's available, I'll let you guys know, and I'll link it in case you fancy having a read. But yeah, this fabric's really cute and I'm really looking forward to sewing with it, and here it is. It is a cotton jersey fabric. I think it's 95% cotton, 5% elastane, and it's lovely and soft, and it's got this really cute sort of polka dot style design on it. These little tiny polka dots, which I thought were really sweet. I don't have a lot of sort of spotty or dotty fabrics in my wardrobe, so I thought it'd be quite fun to add one. So yeah, I really like the look of this one. It comes in quite a few colourways. I think there's at least 10 different colours, quite a variety. They're quite pretty. I'll link the fabric down below in case you fancy checking it out. But I went for the navy colourway because I do love a navy, as you can see. I'm wearing it today, and I thought it would suit the garment I had in mind quite well. So yeah, this is the fabric that I'm looking forward to sewing with. And it's funny actually, because my initial thoughts on this fabric were to try a new pattern I've actually bought now, and I would like to make at some point. And I was thinking about this fabric for that pattern, but in the end I decided on a different pattern. So I'll share the pattern I'm planning to use for this fabric, and then I'm going to talk about my new pattern in a little bit. But yeah, so this is the fabric, cotton jersey fabric, this navy colour. And what I would like to make is a pattern from, where's the book? I had it a moment ago. So I found the book now. I realised I'd tidied it away, even though I knew I wanted to talk about it again. So I'd like to use this lovely cotton jersey fabric to make a dress from this book here, the Stretch Book by Tilly and the Buttons. I would like to turn that fabric into a Freya dress, which is a pattern I love, but this time round I would like to make a slightly different version of the Freya dress. One that I haven't made since when I first started sewing, very early on in my sewing journey. I made this version. I haven't made one since, so I'm really looking forward to revisiting it, and I'll show you the version I'd like to make. It is this one here, the Freya with a cowl neck. So it's got the classic Freya dress shape, this sort of fitted bodice and A-line skirt, a nice long cosy sleeves, and has the addition of this lovely cowl neck, which I think is a really pretty feature. And like I said, I've only made one version of the cowl neck Freya before, about 4 years ago. And recently I've been doing a bit of a wardrobe clear out and sort of going through and trying to organise my wardrobe better. And I've been looking at what I have in my wardrobe and thinking about why I don't reach for some things. So I have this cowl neck Freya dress, and I hadn't been reaching for it, and I tried it on and thought, I love this dress. I love the style of it with the kind of fitted bodice and the cowl neck. I really like it, but I haven't been reaching it for it, not because I don't like it, but just because this fabric that I made my first version and I really love, and I know I wouldn't be able to get again, and I was worried about wearing it out, I guess, by wearing it too much, and I've ended up not wearing it at all, which is a bit silly. So I've got my original dress to show you so you can see the lovely fabric. It's this really pretty cotton jersey fabric. It's folded up so it doesn't really look like a dress, but it is a dress. It's really lovely cotton jersey fabric I got a very long time ago from Selfmade, with this red base and these white tulips on. I think it's so cute. So I'm going to start wearing it more now because it seems really silly. It's just sitting in my drawer not being worn. I'm going to start wearing it and enjoying it and not worrying about wearing it out. But I thought, I love the style of the dress so much, it'll be nice to have another one. And I thought it would look really nice in this navy dotty fabric and quite different from my red one too. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to using this to make another cowl neck Freya. I think it'll be a really nice addition to my wardrobe. I'm hoping to get it sewn up quite soon because I think it's one I'll be able to enjoy now while the weather's quite cold. It'll be lovely and cosy because the cowl neck, you sew it in 2 layers, so it's quite nice and thick and cosy around your neck. So I think it'll be perfect for this colder weather. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to revisiting that version of the Freya pattern. It'll be a bit of a trip down memory lane because when I sewed this one, I was really quite new to sewing, and I remember being so excited to be able to make clothes that fit and yeah, felt good. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to revisiting it in this fabric. So hopefully I'll be able to share my finished new cowl neck Freya with you guys soon. So that brings me on to the new pattern I bought this week that I was originally thinking of pairing with the navy dotty jersey, but now I think I'm going to look for some alternative fabric options for this pattern. And I'm quite looking forward to giving this pattern a go, particularly because it's not only a new pattern for me, but it's also a totally new pattern company that I haven't tried before. And I always think it's quite a lot of fun to try a new pattern company because you learn something new about what their instructions are like, how the patterns sew up and what their sizing's like. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to giving it a try. The pattern company is Ellie and Mac, which is one I've come across before. I think maybe a couple of their patterns have been recommended and I might have seen people making them on Instagram. And I got a bit of birthday spending money last month and I thought I'd have a look on their website and see what they've got, and maybe, yeah, just with a view to trying one of their patterns and see what it was like. And I came across this particular pattern that I'm sure I've seen before and quite like the idea of, so I thought I'll buy it and give it a go, and I thought it might be quite a nice pattern for sort of transitional sort of spring style weather. And I'll pop a picture up with the pattern because I bought it as a PDF and I haven't printed out all the pages yet, but it is the I Love the 90s dress pattern. So yeah, it's a pattern by Ellie and Mac, and it's quite a cute baby doll style dress pattern. It's got quite a pretty arched bodice, which I think is quite an interesting feature with a gathered skirt added on. You can add inseam pockets, and I thought it'd be a really cute day dress for that sort of in-between weather. And on their website, when you look, there are lots of different people, pictures of different people wearing the dress in different styles. So there's quite a lot of inspiration on there, and I really enjoyed having a leaf through and seeing all the different versions. And I thought it'd be quite a cute, fun one to try. It's a jersey dress pattern, so perfect for a nice, comfy spring dress. And it comes in a really good size range too. It goes from extra, extra small up to a 6XL, which takes you from a bust of 29 inches up to a bust of 63 inches. So I've got it downloaded on my computer. I haven't printed it out yet and started tracing out my size. I need to have a proper look at the sizing and that sort of thing. And I haven't got any fabric either, but I'm looking forward to having a look. I've still got some birthday money, so I might see if I can find a lovely cotton jersey to use for this pattern. So I'm looking forward to having a browse and finding some fabric to match this pattern. But yeah, it should be really fun to give it a go and see how I get on with my first Ellie and Mac pattern. And it was quite reasonably priced too. And I had a look, and the pattern comes with the layers function, which I always like because it means you don't have to print out all the different sizes, which makes it a bit easier for tracing. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to giving it a go, and if I like it, I might try some more Ellie and Mac patterns in the future, so we shall see. So the next thing I wanted to talk about in this video is how I've been getting on with my new crafty hobby that I've been learning, which is learning how to crochet. So over the last few weeks in the evenings, I've really been enjoying learning how to crochet, basically by using YouTube tutorials, which have been so helpful. And I feel like I'm finally mastering crochet, which is amazing because I've tried a few times in the past and I really haven't got there. It hasn't clicked for me. But I feel that this time round it's finally clicking. I think I'm learning to master the tension and how to hold the yarn, and the stitches are starting to make more sense to me too. And yeah, I've just really been enjoying it. So I thought I'd update you on how I've been getting on with my project. So what I decided to do was learn how to make a basic crocheted granny square, because I thought it would be a great simple place to start. And I thought it would be great for a bit of scrap busting too, because I've got lots of leftover balls of yarn, or kind of half balls, that I thought I could maybe make into little granny squares and crochet together into a little blanket that my daughter could use when she's doing her imaginative play with her dolls and teddies and that sort of thing. So yeah, I've actually finished my little crochet blanket that I made for her. I finished it last night, so perfect timing, so I can show you the final blanket, and here it is. And yeah, I had so much fun making it. I'm really happy with how my first sort of proper crocheted project turned out. So I used some leftover yarn I had in this lilac colour and hot pink, and then two sort of peachy pinks, and crocheted I think 5 granny squares in each of those colours. And then I had a bit more of this pale pink yarn as well. So I thought that'd be great for finishing it. I knew I'd have enough to sort of finish it and not risk running out like I might have done any of these colours. So yeah, first of all I learned how to crochet the granny squares themselves. Then I learned how to put them together. I used the join as you go method. I'll link the tutorial I used down below. It came together really nice, so I really enjoyed that method, and I love how you end up with little gaps here, just like that kind of mirror the little gaps in the granny squares themselves. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. And the final thing I did was learn how to add little scalloped edge around the edge, which I thought was really cute and looked really nice with the sort of granny squares. So that was really fun as well, and surprisingly easy actually. The scalloped edge came together really, really nicely, and I thought it was a really cute finish to this sort of little slightly frilly blanket. So yeah, here is my little blanket. It's only small. It'll be a nice size for teddies and things, I think, and it has used up most of these yarns. So that was great too, and it was a great learning curve for me. So I really enjoyed it, and I was actually a bit sad when I finished it because yeah, I really enjoyed it so much. So I need to find another crochet project now, so I'm going to be on the lookout. I have also got a knitting project that I kind of paused on because I suddenly yeah, got into my crochet, so I might go back to that now and then have a think about what to do next on the crochet front. But yeah, I really enjoyed it and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'll link the tutorial down below as well that I used for the crocheted edge. Yeah, I just feel like it's starting to get to the point where I'm feeling a bit more confident. I'm ready to tackle a few new stitches as well. So it was a great starter project. I definitely recommend a little granny square blanket if you are, yeah, new to crochet. I found it really good. So yeah, really happy with that one. So that is everything that I have to share in today's video. So I hope you enjoyed hearing about what I've been up to on the sewing front and on the crochet front too, and a little bit about my sewing plans as well. So thank you very much for watching. Please do give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new, please subscribe and press the bell icon so you'll be notified when my future videos come out. So in the meantime, I hope you have a lovely day and I'll hopefully see you for another video very soon. So thanks again. Bye.